On your feet.
Senior Chief John Kelly is more dangerous and effective than any man we have in the field. The only thing he has more than kills are medals.
Somebody would like to talk to you.
John, if you're done in there, we need you to get back in the field.
Senior Chief Kelly, it appears you have a common enemy with the United States.
They took everything from me. My family. I got nothing left.
Their plan is a series of strategic attacks
All over the world.
We have to respond.
I need to be on that team.
Lieutenant Commander Greer, you lead the mission.
I'm even out the playing field.
CIA doesn't support any further investigation into your wife's murder.
Gotta break the heart out the battlefield.
They had no right to take so much from me.
Play no games, boy, I'm busting proof.
This is a go mission.
Original bad boy. Runner attack! Boy!
They know exactly where we've been.
What's the real mission?
They brought that war into my house. They're gonna play by my rules now. No remorse.
Cause I'm sucker for us. So us.
Hi, my name is Gil Robertson, president of the African American Film Critics Association. Today we have a real treat as we're talking to megastar Michael B. Jordan as he discusses his upcoming Amazon original movie, Without Remorse. I'm going to introduce you to the AAFCA members that we have on our roundtable today, starting with our facilitator, KATHIA Woods in Philadelphia, Brandon Jones in Frankfurt, Germany, Sharonda Williams in Atlanta, Georgia, Ray Cornelius in Atlanta, Georgia, RUBEN Recalled in Miami, and Rhonda Rasha Penrice, also in Atlanta. I'm gonna let you guys do what you do so well, and I will see you on the other side.
Hey, Michael, Ray Cornelius here with Upfront Inside the Entertainment Industry. Wanted to, first of all, say an amazing, amazing film, loved it, and gotta ask you, you did some kick-ass moves, the fighting scenes, the gun scenes, the going into the burning car. How much of that was actually you and how much of that was your stunt double? Did you do a lot of stuff? Because it's a lot of physicality with this particular role.
Yeah, for me, that's one of the things that really drew me to this this project and to this role was being able to actually like do, you know, all my stunts. And I'll say it's probably about 95%, 96% of me. And we really took the time to train and get comfortable. You know, an amazing stunt team that that prepared me to kind of get in those like dangerous situations and felt comfortable that I wouldn't get hurt or burnt up.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Hi, Michael. Brandon Jones from LRM Online. My question for you, fine, how are you? Thanks for asking.
Yep.
My question for you is about, this book came out in 1993, and my question is, what was it about the character, the story that drew you in, and what is it about updating it? What was important for you to bring forward?
For me, you know, how I fell in love with the Tom Clancy universe was, you know, more or less around the video games. You know, as a kid growing up playing, you know, I played a lot of Rainbow Six.
Ghost Recon.
Yeah, exactly. And spent hours and hours just like, envisioning and imagining, you know, yourself like going through those missions. You know, I'm pretty sure my mom yelled at me, I don't know how many times to get off the damn game and do something else. So when I had an opportunity, you know, to, you know, when I, you know, read the script and had an opportunity to kind of, you know, modernize it, you know, make it more of a reflection of the world that I live in, you know, change the lens that John Kelly would be, you know, seen through. I jumped at it, you know. It was something that, you know, being able to do my own stunts and to train for it, and the action element. It felt like a movie that that I would have been watching, that I watched growing up, that I always wanted to do. So it checked off a lot of the boxes, and the start of a, something great. It could be, it had all the bones of an origin story, and I really just got excited about that.
I'm really looking forward to Rainbow Six, so thank you.
Yeah, my man. Me too.
Hi, Michael. KATHIA Woods, Cup of Soul Show. I am a huge Tom Clancy fan. I probably have read most of his books, and one of the things about his writing is super specific to scenarios, situations specifically concerning the military. How difficult was it adapting the book to modern times, and at the same time still keeping the integrity of Tom's vision?
So, this process for me, where I came in, there was already a script that adapted the book at one point. So there was a lot of already creative liberties that were made, that I inherited, that to be able to kind of to work from that, from that document. So there's a lot of things that that were in the book that weren't in that original draft, and then I took that draft, and then we injected some life into it, and modernized it. One of the things that we did was Karen Greer, and made her a commander, first Black female commander, as a Navy SEAL, and we thought it would be that representation, that imagery, those scenes, of her, being completely capable in the field, and showing that camaraderie between her and John out in the field, but then also seeing her in her dress blues, and being in the boardrooms with the Secretary of Defense, and and how she held her own in that space as well. So to be able to do those, to go from that place to another, I thought was really, really powerful. And then inherently, you change a character like John, and you make him Black, and what that means, serving a country, being completely loyal, the betrayal, the tragedy, all those things, you inherently have to, take how he's viewing things, what type of baggage is he carrying throughout all these moments and these scenarios, and we just tried to make it grounded and real, as real as you can,
Thank you so much.
Hi, Michael. Sharonda from Pair Weight. My question for you is, one of the things that I appreciate the most about your journey through your career is you really breaking barriers and portraying these characters, especially now with this new potential franchise that Hollywood is most envisioned only for white leads. And I really want to speak to you about the intentionality behind that throughout your career, but also too, you do some great work behind the scenes. So I just want you to elaborate on that a little bit more.
I think earlier on, it was definitely, something that, I spoke about, as far as, roles I wanted to go after, roles that, I wanted to, make inherently like Black, if I wanted to play, roles that, Leo, were playing, and Tom Cruise, and, and actors that that play characters that are just characters. There's no bias when the character is being created or written. And I think that was like my approach earlier on, because when I step into a character, when I portray it, when I put myself into that position, this is going to be this, what I'm saying? That's what's coming out, what I mean? So to be, sometimes, like I said, writers, sometimes can write for stereotypes, and you get a lot of stereotypical roles. So that was my way of reverse engineering that. So I think, as time goes on, you start to, it is what it is. I continue to play roles that, I feel, it's not just, you're a Black actor. Why is it Black? Why just an actor? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that I kind of want to just start dissolving that line in the sand, in my own type of way. I think that approach was what I started to do earlier on. And now being able to like produce, create my own production company, have more of a say when it comes in the hiring, of other positions, just not in front of the camera, but behind the camera as well. It inherently starts to, create more opportunities of people of color, underrepresented groups, for jobs and positions that, they might not have, considered, and inspiring the next generation, once they see that representation that's there, it'll start to influence maybe some decisions of, you see more, women DPs or, directors or writers, different, departments throughout a movie set, executives. So it's just, playing chess, growing up, just strategically moving pieces on the board, and also trying to, have some fun along the way. So it's been a cool journey so far.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you continuing to push barriers in the industry. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. No problem.
Hi, Michael. My name is Ruben. I'm Cocalecas.net. One of the things that I love about your movie, it's like I was raised in the 90s, and I love this action film from that decade. And while I was watching your film, I feel that I went back to the decade. Do you have any inspiration to create your character from movies from the 90s, or the whole atmosphere of the movie? I felt that I was watching something based on tragedy and then looking for revenge. Like, this is the classic, plot from the action film from the 90s.
I think that was like a collaboration, with Stefano, and the other producers, trying to figure out, what story we were trying to tell, and how to simplify it. We really wanted to simplify, sometimes the story, but complicate the characters. You know what I'm saying, a bit. Really layer out the characters. Like you start, with John, and who's dedicated, driven, loyal, a family man, loves his family. And you take those things away from him, and you see kind of like how he responds, somebody who, he puts his mind to something, there's no stopping him. He's going to get it. He's going to get it done, and he's going to see it through to the end. So to be able to, put him in positions that challenge those things, I thought was very interesting. And Stefano, he really, the way he shoots, and really captures, character, and also getting to like the reason of why we have war, what other elements go into decisions of why there is international conflict, why, just the why. And I think those are some questions that we asked, and I hope we hit on and answered some of them throughout. But that feeling that you're alluding to, I think was more of a collaboration of how, how best, show the creation of a guy that we later know as John Clark. But what was those beginning moments like for him before he actually, changed? So yeah. that was kind of what we wanted to stick to.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, it's Rhonda. Earlier you spoke about Karen Greer. Can you talk about what Jodie Turner-Smith brings to that role?
I think she brings a fierceness. I think there's a alluded, confidence that you have to have of the things that, a character like that would have gone through, being like the first, I think there's a lot of obstacles, and challenges along the way. And I think Jodie just brings all that out in a real organic way. I think, just showing the camaraderie, in the field, tactically, going through the training, it was a team effort. The fact that we all kind of had to key off one another, and have that fluidity of like, we've been doing it for, years and years, and we've been on, been in and out of so many dangerous situations, just showing that brotherhood. I thought, brother and sisterhood, I thought that was really unique and cool.
Hey, Michael, it's Ray Cornelius again. Wanted to know, what was your favorite scene?
Favorite scene? Oh, what was my favorite? That's tough. Favorite scene. That's tough. I think my favorite scene was probably the underwater sequences, but then it was probably my least favorite scene, like sometimes while we were shooting it, and then it became my favorite again after we got finished it, because it took us so long to shoot those that one action sequence. And like some days I would show up and be like, yo, who wrote this? Who decided we were doing this today? Like this is out of control. I got no goggles on, I can't see anything. And we're underwater, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I got a wetsuit, dry suit on, these boots. It was a lot. But I think just accomplishing that, setting out in the beginning to do something really ambitious, and going through the steps, going through the training, and then actually completing it, I think it was really satisfying. So I think that whole sequence for me was probably my favorite.
So Michael, Brand again. I hate underwater scenes like that because I hold my breath while I'm watching the screen, so it drives me nuts. My question for you is, so as an avid gamer, if you could bring a franchise to the big screen, what would be your fantasy like video game that you would want to see on the big screen, either starring or producing?
Oh man,
I know. That's right.
I feel like this is a setup. Let me think. I would probably say, it's a video game I played a lot, but it's kind of untouchable. I guess like maybe like Street Fighter or something like that. You know what I mean? I think it's a video game that I played like often. You know what I mean? So, but it's like certain things I don't think should be touched. You know what I mean? I think you just kind of like leave them alone. And I think that one is just, I want to keep the memory of that. You know what I'm saying? As I have it.
So who would you play in Street Fighter?
You said produce or star?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aha.
Okay.
Produce.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's Sharonda again. I love that you're trying to be humble, but doing 95% of your stunts on film, that's a lot of wear and tear in your body, especially with the physicality that you bring to all of your roles in some iconic franchises. I really want you to delve deeper into the preparation for that, even prior to shooting, and the toll that takes on your body.
Yeah, okay. So this one was probably definitely the most intense training that I've done, just because there were so many different elements to it. When it came to like the underwater sequences, I worked with a military diver and was able to, spend a lot of time in, dive tanks, and work through stressful underwater situations, weapon malfunctions, equipment malfunctions, just really preparing, myself for any and everything that could go wrong underwater. Anytime you do any underwater stunts, it's just that much more dangerous. So that was a lot on me. Tactical training, a lot of explosions, getting tossed and blown up. What else? The fire, the car was really intense. So I think, me and my trainer Corey, we really try to look at the character, and we train for, how that character would live. Working with a lot of military, contractors and, Marines and SEALs, and really like going through a lot of the daily routines when it comes to like, working out. So a lot of calisthenics, weight training, weapons training, hand-to-hand combat training. Months out, just starting to mentally and physically prepare for that. And, it took a toll, at the end of it. I was a little banged up and bruised. I was, one of the few highlights of, I guess the slowdown period of like the quarantine was like able to like really rest my body and to really like, get back healthy. So I'm definitely the healthiest I've been in a long time.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
In this whole in this universe of Tom Clancy's, he always has interesting bad guys. What was it like when you were trying to, the intricacy of the story usually hinges on it, because we have to have a reason to cheer for our hero. So what was it like just constructing that story? And again, the bad guy is not usually the obvious person, like for instance with Rocky, where, you know, here is this bad guy. It's more or less somebody that you least expect.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, one of the things that Clancy does so well is like, it's the twists, you know, and the turns sometimes. And, you know, we try to, you know, tell a story about, you know, a man trying to find answers. And sometimes it's rare that it's just one guy that's the cause of, you know, or that makes all the decisions of, you know, the bad things that happen and go wrong. So you have to look at the system, you know, and often sometimes the more interesting villains are the ones who really and truly believe that they're doing the right thing, you know, and being able to kind of like, you know, dive into that a little bit. So at times it was, you know, it was a balance of trying to, you know, figure out, you know, the more interesting route to take. And then what our character was going through, you know, for so much of the movie, he just wants to, I don't think he really has a plan and he's trying to figure it out. But once he, in his mind, he's made a decision, oh, this is the guy, you know, and then as soon as he has that moment, you realize that, oh, wait, there's another layer to this, you know? And then he has to continue to follow those breadcrumbs to see what happens next. And yeah, it feels good to like, you know, play a character that at one point feels like he's helpless and there's nothing he can really do. He's just one person. And then as things, you know, are revealed, he feels like you know, he does have the power to disrupt and to make a difference and be heard on a systemic level. So it was cool. It was cool to do that.
It's been announced that you're gonna direct your first film, and what you can say that you take it from Stefano as a learning or as educational experience to apply for your first film.
I think letting moments breathe. You know, I think you know, sometimes like letting the camera run, you know, and sometimes letting your actors like, you know, really you know, breathe in the scene, you know, and see what comes of it. You know, I think you know, he has a certain calm and stillness to some moments, some elegant moments, and really shows a character thinking. So that's something that I noticed, you know, and also just, you know, I think prep has been a common, you know, piece of advice that I've been getting from all my director, you know, friends and people I really look up to. Is just like prep as much as you can, be as prepared as possible, prep and prep some more, prep again, you know. So that's something I've been doing a lot of.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm curious, when did you decide that you were going to add action star to what you do, and what process does that take? You know, like what preparation did you go through to get to this point? Because it just doesn't just happen.
I think it's always been like, you know, a desire. Like when I decided that I was gonna take acting seriously, you know, I think when I started out younger, you don't really know where you're going, you know, or what's gonna, you know, how far this is gonna take you. But I think once, you know, you're like, this is what I'm gonna do, you start to envision yourself in roles that, you know, that you want to see yourself play like one day, or movies you want to be a part of that you like to watch, or you would want to actually, you know, be in. And I think, I mean, maybe like around, you know, I guess I could say like, you know, maybe after Fruitville, but it probably started daydreaming about it like way before that. But I think, you know, after doing something like Chronicle, you know, was like the first time, like, you know, having some type of powers and, you know, and like the flying and dealing with a lot of green screen and, you know, and rigs and things of that nature. Started to understand the mechanics of what goes into a movie like that, you know, and then once you kind of understand, like, oh, okay, cool. And then your imagination starts to run with that. What are the other possibilities? Then you start to see other movies and other things that are out there that inspire you, that might, you know, send you down like, okay, then that'd be cool. And then, you know, think all the X-Men and Marvel movies and, DC movies and the Bournes and the Mission Impossibles and the Blades and all this stuff that I used to watch. It always just kind of like, oh man, okay, this is like what, you know, action movies are, you know, and taking the best pieces of all those things and wanting to kind of like build my own version of that. And I'm just getting started, I feel like. So, you know, this is like one for me to, you know, check off some boxes and also like, you know, be a part of a universe that universe that I respect. And now it's like, you know, how do you build from here? How do you take it to the next level? How do you, you know, do something that you know, people will enjoy and have a lot of fun doing it?
Did you start working with specific trainers, like also transforming your body? Like,
Yeah, I had the same guy since Fantastic Four, Corey Collier, you know, a guy from Louisiana, moved out to LA, you know, right after we did that movie, started working out for Creed, and we've been at it ever since. So, you know, there's obviously we get specialists for special things, you know, when there's like hand-to-hand combat, but my general physique, depending on what role I'm playing, you know, he's the guy that I work with. And then we outsource the specialists for other things that we need depending on the character. And then we just go from there. It's a team effort.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem, man. Anytime.
On behalf of the world's largest group of Black film critics, we thank you for watching this episode of AAFCA Roundtables. Have a great day.
See you guys. Peace. Nice seeing y'all.
Good seeing you too, brother.